Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to the stream. How are you all today? I'm just gonna change the background. Oh. Ah. Okay, there we go. Okay, that socials is a bit too big. Hang on. Move on up here. Okay, there we go. But how are you all? Welcome to the stream. So, as you know, we're going to be talking about some horror tropes today, so it doesn't matter if it's in books or video games or creepypastas or other horror stories. We're doing this. So I hope you guys are excited. I have notes and everything. There will be polls that people can, you know, participate in. We're going to talk about the polls. We're going to have a good time. Or else. But yeah. Hello everyone. So I'm going to go through the chat and say hello before our first topic will begin. But yeah, it's exciting. Pop out the chat. There we go. Enhance. So let's see. I believe it was Jinxie and Cat were the first ones here. Hello? Hello, Harsafel. Oh, sorry, my two beloved mods are Cat and Jinxie are here. Welcome, welcome. Sharon, one of my beloved channel members. Hello, hello. Oh my god, why can't I see today? Hang on. Enhance. There we go. There we go. Let's see. Oh, hello, Lithos Horror. I don't believe I know you. Lithos Horror coming in with $1 doing 99 cents. I'm gonna give that a hearty heart and a likey like. Thank you so much. All super chats go back into making more content, so it is greatly appreciated. Meow meow meow. Okay, let's see. Everyone's saying hello to each other. Hell yeah. I do like a nice friendly chat. Cindy! Hey Cindy, welcome to the stream. Banshee! Welcome back, Banshee. Welcome back. Marty! Hey Marty, welcome to the stream. Rosé's here too. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Jack is back. Oh yeah. Hell yes. Great to see some familiar faces returning to the ample bosom of the stream. I'm sorry. Hello, Nat. Yes, the drawing tablet. Yes, yes, yes. It'll happen. It'll happen. Alright. Thank you, Banshee. Yes, I've had that for quite a while now. And I've got one for Be Right Back and when the stream is ending, too. I went all out. Lone Wolf, my favorite pup. Hello. Welcome, welcome. Let's do... Yes, indeed. Thank you for liking the like button. You know, that always helps the stream out. And if you're feeling extra generous, why not, you know, give the linky little sherry share, you know? Yes, Carrie the Carrot is here, but he is in pumpkin mode in the spirit of the spooky season. Okay, let's see. Ah, it zoomed down. Hey, Jimmy! Welcome to the stream. Hello, hello. You just found the channel? Hell yeah, Lithos. Well, welcome, welcome. I hope you enjoy it here, you know. If you do so, why not consider subscribing? All that good stuff. Happy to see everyone enjoying this. Me too, Jack. Me too. I love when people are having a good time. Alright, let's see. Oh, God, Laura. Everyone's saying hello. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I have my coffee and my snacky snacks ready to go. So, what we're going to put up a different theme. Talk about it. I have notes and everything. You guys will be able to contribute as well. We'll be fine. Everything's fine. Hey, Kirby's. Welcome to the stream. So let me get my notes out. Okay, so we're going to talk about one trope. So hang on. I'll write it down and then I'll read it. Because apparently I can't do the same thing at once. Okay. Oh, thanks me. Past me put it in the wrong spot. Why did I say post? So, Oh my god. Hang on. This is clearly an organized production. Alright, the final girl. So, what do you all think about the final girl trope in a story? So, let me see. So basically, the final girl is a female who will end up fighting the killer by herself. So basically, she's the last stand, if you will. The unlikely survivor. Also, there is usually a note of purity. She's usually untouched, if you will, a virgin. So that taps into a lot of other social pressures, I guess. Oh yes, thank you, Laura, for posting a link to the ASMR channel. Alright, let's see. Jack says, overdone for me. I getcha. I getcha. Banshee says, it can be done really well and iconic like the past slashes. But it's overdone if they keep making sequels with that same girl always living. That makes total sense. That makes total sense. Laura says, kinda overdone. Plays too much into the notions that it takes purity to win. I agree. So this goes back into like slut shaming. I'm probably gonna get smacked by YouTube for saying that word. But anyway, it ties in heavily with that. You know. Now let's see. Jack says, call me old-fashioned, but I'd rather see a group of characters come out with a happy ending. I don't know if you're making a double entendre with that one, Jack. I'm sorry. Oh, my bad. Now, let's see. I'm so confused. Wait, what are you confused by, Cindy? Lithos likes it, but it's in a lot of horror movies now. I getcha. I getcha. So, Cindy, we're talking about different horror tropes in movies or creepypastas, and we're on the concept of the final girl. So, like in the movie Scream. So, Neve Campbell's character, I cannot remember. Sydney, there we go. She would be considered the final girl. And basically any character who is not her, especially female, she would essentially, you know, be killed. Usually in a brutal way, and sometimes in a sexually motivated way as well. I'm just like ripping apart my my monetization afterwards. So Scream was actually a parody of that, funnily enough. Yes, like Jamie Lee in Halloween Jinxie. Oh gosh, not Scream. Oh, my bad, Jack. Well, I feel like I now have allegedly a dirty mind. You meant a character surviving the horror movie. Oh, I see. Okay, I get you. Oh, that could have been awkward. That could have been really. Hey, Richard, welcome to the stream. It is good to see you. Welcome, welcome. So, touching on that, hang on. I have a bunch of notes and it's all over the place. Be patient with me. So we're going to do a poll because we never do polls on this channel. So I'm going to set that up right now. Who is your favorite? I can't, oh my god, I can't spell. There we go. Final girl. So, Laurie Strode Halloween. I know, we never do polls on this channel. Nancy. Nightmare on Elm Street. I thought for a sec it was only letting me add 3 options. I'm like, what is this? What is this scandal? Sydney. Scream. I know you all love Scream by the reactions that some of you had. I figure she's not going to do too well. And Sally in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You know what? I need a gremlin who sits here, basically typing in all the polls and things for me. Alright, here goes. Alright, chat. The poll is live. If in doubt, do a poll. So we're gonna leave that poll up for a bit. I'm so excited by this, guys. Oh shit, I forgot to put the chat goal. Hang on. Hang on a minute, guys. Let's mosey on. Start goal. Hang on. There we go. Woo! Hey, Ash Souls! Welcome to the stream. That's okay, Nat. We'll be getting to that one eventually, Richard. So we're mainly talking about different tropes themselves. Because sometimes some people haven't seen a movie, and this way it includes them without it. We're just waiting on the polls. The poll. There's only one. Well, there's going to be multiple polls. It's all good, Richard. It's all good. But yeah. I'm going to take a sippy sip. Of my coffee. Does anyone else have any sort of final comments that they would make, like, blah, 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 blah. Does anyone have any final comments about the final girl that they would like to add? Or better yet, how do you think that the final girl trope could be done, but done better, in your opinion? I'm making you all think today. I'm like, come on, chat. Use those brains. You watched I Know What You Did Last Summer with my mum? I remember that movie. It's been a long time since I've seen it. The Troop has arrived. Welcome, Trooper. Trooper is one of my beloved channel members. Hello, Devane. Welcome back to the stream. It's good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Chris from Friday the I can't talk. True, Devane, true. It's okay, Lone Wolf. It is okay. Lurking and lurkers are more than welcome. Is it a crime that I've never watched Scream before? No, it's okay, Ash Souls. It's okay. As I said before, Scream was a parody on past horror movies that were done in the genre. So another thing, another little fact for you, Buffy the Vampire Slayer was also Josh Whedon's different version of the final girl, especially a blonde who always manages to somehow, you know, get herself killed. Scary Movie has the best ghost face. Has Hennas done any horror movies? I don't know. I should check. If he has, we're watching it in the if he has, we're watching it in the Discord. Alright, so Laura says about how to make the final girl a better survivor, make her smarter, more tactfully minded, and have a good weapon. Also, perhaps make her survival luck based. Ooh, I like that. That would be different. Let's see. Banshee says, I don't know what to change because some re-sequels make them fighters after the first night with the slasher or the main villain. True, that is very true. It's often the blonde. Yep, Jack, it is usually the blonde. What if the blonde bimbo was the vampire slayer? Devane says. So, the vampire slayer was usually depicted, like, because she's in other circumstance, she would be the ideal, like, victim. She's had the horizontal tango, so to speak. She is a cheerleader, she's blonde, etc. If I haven't seen Your Next, you absolutely should. I have not seen Your Next yet. Lithos says, take the focus off sex appeal and more on intelligence. Ooh, I like that. I like that one. Okay, Richard. Lomel says, I have a general distaste towards people in horror movies who do blatantly stupid things. Alright, so we're going to end the poll here and see what the results are. Okay. So, the winner was Laurie from Halloween with 42 votes. Sally from Texas Chainsaw Massacre with 33 votes. Nancy with Nancy from A Nightmare on Elm Street with 17 votes. And Sydney from Scream with 8 votes. Hell yeah. Okay, let's see. If the final girl had some useful weapons like using a firearm, I agree, Nat. I think that would be beneficial. Alright. On to the next one. If everyone is ready. Okay, let's see. I've got my notes. So this isn't necessarily a movie, but this is definitely a trope within it. So it does touch on what we talked about. The doomed the doomed couple. Also, let me know if you'd like more streams like this where it's themed based. Why is that so big? That's what she said. Oh, I'm sorry. Hang on, I'm gonna move my suit. Oh, you guys can't see it yet. I am moving things around. I promise. I'm trying to make things easier. Oh dear. Okay, move this over here. There we go. Okay. So now the doomed couple. So the doomed couple is usually teenagers, but it can be young adults who will go off for some hanky-panky. For the horizontal tangoing, and that is usually where the killer will get them and attack them. So this is in so many different horror movies as well. I know it's in Supernatural, the TV series. I remember watching it. Eyebrows, yes, a lot of wiggling eyebrows right now. So, some older comments. Devane says, I think the point of the final girl being a virgin meant she wasn't distracted and able to focus on the danger. That's a good point, Devane. I didn't consider that before. So Lone Wolf says, I love the horror movies with the iconic killers. I've seen t-shirts with the faces of classic horror villains on them. They look really cool. They do. Let's see. The stretching session. Happy bedroom eyebrows, yes. Lithos says, this is every 80s horror movie. True, it really is. Oh. Sorry, just taking a sippy sip. I think it's done, particularly with with younger people, I feel. It's like a subtle way of, particularly in American culture, do not have the hanky-panky, or you will die. It's like a warning to them to not have sex before marriage. Because in horror movies, you don't see that quite in the same way with British or like Australian type things. Maybe I'm missing out and I don't understand and I've missed some movies or whatever, but in my opinion... Jinx. So let's see. Laura says, the doomed couple is a holdover from urban legends, which implores, again, purity. Is also meant to teach that numbers and men won't protect you if you deserve it, essentially. Damn, that's a good point. Oh, let's see. Let's see. So Banshee says, I feel like it might be used too much to have horizontal tango scenes, or a good excuse of having a naked woman or guy on screen. That is true. So another little tidbit, because I have... Look, I have ADHD and this is how my brain works. So like, it's like a little mind map opening up. But anyway, there was... I can't remember the study. I wish I had a grab this, like, god damn it. But basically, they'll show sex right before a moment of violence on screen in horror movies to excite the viewer. Anyway, I like how sometimes I refer to it as horizontal tango, and just randomly I'm like, yeah, sex. Anyway, there we go. Opened your mind map up to the chat. I'm trying. Basically, it's a cluttered mess. But I'm doing my best. No, sorry. I'm doing my best, Lithos. Let's see. I haven't seen the Prowler yet, Devane. I should. I really should. Lithos adds, it could be a take on old nursery tales like Hansel and Gretel. I agree. I agree. I think so. Laura says, I kind of studied urban legends and some bits of horror. I just didn't fall into horror my god, I can't talk. I just didn't fall into horror writing. Laura, you should give it a go. Let's see. Clutter mess like my desk. Yes, Banshee. Yes. Jinxie says, so Hollywood wants us to be aroused during violent scenes? I think so, yeah. So it's a little bit... makes you wonder why. Lomo says, that's pretty much how it goes for me. A young couple does the dance with no pants. I like how we're all trying to avoid YouTube censorship. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. A young couple does the dance with no pants, and I immediately think the killer's gonna pop out any minute now. I agree. I agree. Oh, good point, Laura. Good point. So, because, as Laura says, because sex or the suggestion of it makes the viewer play. Oh my god. The viewer pay close attention and distracts them right before the sudden violence, which in early films was shocking and disgusting. See, that's another thing. How much have people in society become so desensitized to seeing violence on screen? I'm pretty sure most of the movies we would have now would be so outlandish and scary to people from the 1950s. I'm gonna close my blinds because the sun is coming in and it's burning me. Hang on. Ah! Okay, there we go. Let's see. Do it. Yes, Jinxie, I do need more sippy sips of the coffee. Let's see. Hang on. So, So this is a question. Why do you think Hollywood loves punishing lovers? We've touched on this a little bit before, but so why do you guys think that, you know, they always punish lovers, particularly those who are unmarried as well? Hey, look, some demons are sensitive to light too. Don't judge me, Laura. I'll leave that question up in the air. Lithos says, I could watch as much gore and horror as I wanted as a kid, but the second there was kissing, the TV turns off. Oh dear. So my theory is, yeah, a lot of this really does go back to women being pure and the idea of wanting purity. But then again, why would the man be punished as well? Jinxie says it goes back to the age-old belief that women are pure when unsullied before marriage. Lithos says maybe it's a morality tale. We're getting mixed signals from the Hollywood man. True. You guys are raising such amazing thoughts with this. I appreciate this, you guys. So Laura says Puritan values, again, going back to urban legends. Sex before marriage is taboo or a sin, and thus you lose God's protection and favor, and bad things happen to you. Ooh, me likey. That's a good answer. Devane says enforcement of moral norms. I agree with that. Lone Wolf says, I feel like there are some people who see those couples and immediately develop Cinderella or Snow White vibes towards them. So when one of them dies, it's a real tearjerker. We'll see. Usually the way that they're depicted, particularly the girl, I've noticed she's always, you know, either a bully or she's weak-willed or easily swayed. And the guy's usually a jerk as well. Or like a jock or something like that. Purity culture. Boomba. Everyone wants the booba. True, Jinxie, true. Hey, Rosé. Traditionalism, BS. I agree. More practical reason your guard is lowered during the hem act. I really love how everyone's avoiding naughty words. It's great. Jack really dislikes purity culture. I agree. Laura, goddamn. I like purity culture. It makes it easier to find virgins when the local volcano starts acting up and you need a sacrifice. Goddamn, Laura. He's either a jerk or a jock. Pick your J. I think it's usually both. Get the sex. Oh no, not the Frenchman reference. Hey, Infinite. Welcome to the stream. After all, what is a teenage boy's favorite bird? God damn it. Toxic masculinity. Indeed, Devane. She laughs, but she expects... I do. I really do. You guys shouldn't be getting ads during the stream. The ads... I've turned them off. I've heard that some people are getting them over the chat for a little bit. I don't know if a lot of people are getting them. But yeah, ads are turned off during the stream. So the streams are always just funded by super chats. Hey, Rooster. Rooster is one of my beloved channel members. Welcome. Alright. So, does anyone have any final comments about the Doom couple trope? That way we can move on to the next topic. Ooh, that's a good one, Lithos. The Lithos says, what about the stories where the killer has a weird fixation with the female of the couple? That's another layer of weird. Yeah, that's some that's some real incel stalking right there. Definitely weird. Yes, pay your taxes of animal pictures. Teenage boy. Nice. Okay. So I'll leave that there while I'll grab the next one. This one I think is more active in, say, supernatural thing stories. I'm gonna type it up so I can just change it over. Wait, no, we'll just change it over automatically. God damn it. The non-believer. So basically someone who is a skeptic, who doesn't believe in ghost stories, and they say go to a haunted house or something, and then naturally it's haunted by a ghost or demon or whatever. What do you think about this trope? Do you think the non-believer is overdone? Say how many tropes have been discussed? I believe this will be the third trope that has been discussed. So we're getting through quite a lot, guys. Laura Lone Wolf says, reminds me of Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw 2. Ooh. Oh yeah, that's true, he did. Hey, Heel, welcome to the stream. So Laura adds, it was meant to teach women to be careful and that they must be wary of men. Because for a long time, horizontal tangoing was seen as something females were supposed to control and be responsible for. Indeed. And women being the center of families. Interesting. You've seen this trope in a lot of rules horror stories? Makes sense. Let's see. Yeah, there's always usually some character who goes, guys, there has to be a rational explanation. Let's see. Jack says a lot of people in horror movies do not believe and they are fun characters. True. Let's see. So, Lionel says, I feel like every horror movie needs a skeptic. Either to add suspense, or to have an extra person to go on the kill count. I agree. Ah, God! Hey, Hopeful! How is my favorite Lost in Vivo tormentor? Hopeful, one of my beloved channel members, comes in with 3 whole dollary dues and says, I'm a non-believer in succubi not being goddesses. Hell yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna give it a hearty heart and a likey like. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay, where was I up to? Need more coffee. Lithos says, the unbeliever always has a religious awakening, like in Signs. That is true. And that's for a lot of the more demon angel movies, usually revolving around the Catholic Church as well. Who wants pasta? Me, please. Banshee says, a non-believer can also be done as a person with logic reasons. But as a horror movie, it would seem like they're dumb. That is true. Nat says, and the non-believer is the first one killed. I agree. Yep. Rose says, it's skepticism to a point because I was in a house and I saw legit shit that's supernatural. I would be looking at the blood splurting stump where my friend's head was ripped off and be like, huh, maybe there's something to this after all. I mean, that is totally fair. Let's see. Ooh, that does sound tasty. Devane says, maybe the skeptic may think of the phenomena differently, e.g. a cluster of energy, like Legend of Hell House. Ooh. Ooh, that's true. Interesting. You guys are making such good points about this. I'm like, yes! Alright, let's see. So Hopeful saw watching Conjuring 4 and told them, if I tell y'all I've seen something like a ghost, y'all better freaking believe me. Aren't horror films based on lore? Well, they're usually based on some type of, you know, a horror movie or not movie, sorry, urban legend or a myth or, you know, something like along those lines. The Lone Wolf says, I feel like there's a stereotypical instance where the believers are very wary of a certain place or room. The skeptic goes in to prove a point and ends up brutally slaughtered. Ooh. I think it's also to challenge the idea of logic within the world and in the space. So what would normally make sense no longer makes sense. So it turns people's opinions and thus their feelings of safety upside down. Rose says, I feel like skeptics are always done dirty because the point is standard of evidence. So they see the evidence for something. They aren't going to be so stubborn. There. And that says, I don't like how people go towards the danger, even though they know the danger's possibly there. Like, run, bruh. True. True. Let's see. Trooper says, in every movie, the kid sees a monster and tells the parents, and they don't believe the kid because the whole town dies and crap. Even if there is no monster, there could be a home intruder in there too. True. Oh, Heel, you missed the doomed couple part of the stream, but we did discuss that a little bit earlier. Okay. We're just gonna wait just a little bit. Does anyone have any more comments about the non-believer? Well, I'm gonna wait and see if people do or not. I'm gonna take another piece of my mandarin. Oh. The store did not have blueberries. Outrageous. Also, question, chat. Do you think you would personally be the skeptic in a movie? Would you be the one being, you know, there's a logical explanation for this. How do you see yourself? What? You missed one in between those two. There's only one that's been showed, Hopeful. Not Hopeful, sorry. There's only one message in there, Trooper. There's only two. There's... Unless it just hasn't loaded yet. Which happens sometimes, it's annoying. Let's see. Nat says, I definitely pass in a horror movie. Jinxie's a fan of danger, would look for the noise. I mean, I getcha. I getcha. I would if it's supernatural, most definitely. Hopefully wouldn't die. Kind of both for Banshee. If I see it, yeah, I'll believe it. Depends on the situation. Basically, do you see yourself being the skeptic in a horror type situation? If it was happening to you in real life, I should say. Trooper says, if there's a monster, if my kid says there's a monster in his closet, I'm removing him and my wife from the house. Hell yeah. Bidiff the Bidit, who is both a mod and a channel member. What an ultimate Chad. So we're talking about, would you be a skeptic if you were in a horror movie? I don't rule it out, says Devane. Nice. Jinxie. Skeptic? Nah, I had a lipstick mark on my side view mirror the other night on my way home from work. What the hell? Am I gonna have to keep a tracker on you, Jinxie? Lonewolf says, I keep an open mind. I want to get to the bottom of it. Nice. Hopeful says, I usually try to be rational, but if someone claims to have seen something supernatural, I'll believe them. I've seen my fair share of creepy stuff that I can't explain rationally. Nice. Okay, let's see. Vidith, I'd be the stoner from Cabin in the Woods. You know what? That's totally valid. That is totally valid. Okay, let's see. What else? Do you guys like how I have notes for this? Big brain, many wrinkle. So here's yet the next one. Another. What the hell? That is creepy, Jinxie. Huh. My goodness. Laura says survival tactic. Always be in the middle. The killer usually takes the person from the front or the back. That is so true. That is so true. Okay, so here's another one. The creepy child. So chat, what do you think about the creepy child trope? Do you think it, you know, what do you think it, what do you think it connects to? Gonna let people type their answers. Ah. Alright, let's see. Devane says, my favorite? Hell yeah. Trooper says, I still remember seeing a deer stand upright when I was 7. It just stared at me. Oh my. So Rose says, overdone. Honestly, was never a fan. Nat says, probably something with the innocent little child not being so innocent after all. True, true. Hopeful says, oh my god, I lost where I was at. I'm sorry. Creepy children with black eyes, no thanks. Noel says either a possessed child, serial killer child, or black-eyed child. And now Laura adds, it usually ties into the belief that children are more in tune with the spiritual or supernatural, and thus know or experience more and are more susceptible to it. True. I like that one. That's a good one. Ooh, Lithos, another good one. It's like a play on concepts. Childhood is innocence, and that innocence is usually taken over by some evil. That is true. I'm going to take this. Sorry, I need a sip. Sippy sip. Rosé doesn't find them scary. Understandable. Ooh, Devane says, people born in their natural state are evil. That is true. Kids can be really mean. Jimmy says, pretty overdone, but it probably originated from parents' fear of parenthood. I agree. I think being a parent sounds so overwhelming. You know, because you spend so much time, money, and just everything pouring into this child, and they may grow up to be a terrible person. Let's see. Nat says, it depends on how it's executed. Jack's not a fan. Lady does a fantastic turkey impression, by the way. Yes, I've been practicing. No, I'm kidding. And she says, honestly, creepy child. Am I adopting the child or seeing one? Is it where they adopt creepy kids like Mama, or AKA my favorite movie? It can be either. It doesn't matter. Banshee, we're talking about it just as an overall theme. Jack says it's gotten pretty old. I getcha. Jack says, if a child is being creepy, you splash them with a hose full of holy water. Wow, damn. Laura, children not so bad, easily puntable. Jinxie says, nature versus nurture. There's oh my god, sorry. There's only so much us parents can do if your child is wired wrong. True, true. Devane says, according to Christian dogma. Okay, that's a good added point. I'm sorry, Devane. It took a little bit for that part to load in. Let's see. Richard says, I think it's an underestimation. There we go. Rosé says, lore explanation is that children tend to be more imaginative and innocent. Richie Rich was a horror movie? Wait, what? I mean, I don't know. The Omen is, Jimmy says, The Omen was definitely the best example of this trope. Very true. I think we'll go into creepy dolls at some point, Lithos. That is it's on the list. We've talked about, so I guess that's why it's so effective. It's a corruption of innocence. But everyone's making such good points with this. I mean, I've made little notes and different ideas for things, and you guys are just blowing me out of the water. What a bunch of giga chads. Sorry, I've had to use the language of the youth. Let's see. Ooh, Devane says, the child might be reincarnated from a previous evil person. Rosé says, I think the creepy children trope works better when played for comedy. That's fair. That's fair. It's old head talk? Oh no. Oh no. Oh dear. Gonna have to get on my spectacles. Okay, let's see. I just realized I was chewing in everyone's ear. I'm so sorry. So we're going to do a quick poll. So this one will be, so there'll be random polls. Jinxie is queen of the chat again. Jinxie, I'll put it up when I'm not doing all the things, but yes, Jinxie is the reigning queen of the bingo chat again. All right, let's see. We're doing another poll. If in doubt, do a poll. These are just random, just to break our little parts up for a bit. We can talk about the poll as well. One more to add in, and then it can go live. Okay, the poll should be live. Kangaroo snacking noises intensifies. Love democracy. Yes. So, cast your votes, everyone. I'll be interested in hearing what what you guys think. So while that poll is running, I'm gonna take a quick stretchy stretch, but I'll be back in just a moment. So yeah, be right back. Okay, I'm back. Thank you very much for your patience. It is greatly appreciated. Oh god, Laura. Yes, so take the time, pick your trope. Ban stupid ads. Sorry, I'm getting ads in the chat. Richard, I'm sorry, I can't do anything about it. YouTube's just putting them in. I'll see if I can turn it off, but, you know, I have turned off a lot of ads everywhere, and this is how I earn my money, my living, so. Thank you, thank you. Okay. Where are we up to? I hope everyone voted in the poll. The bad guy winning. Ooh, me too. I like that one too, Jinxie. Okay, so I think everyone's cast their votes. I'm gonna end the poll right here. Let's have a look-see. You participated in democracy? Hell yeah, Lithos. Let's see. So the winner of the horror trope that feels most overused but you secretly love? Naughty. Anyway, the don't go in there moment at 36. Jump scare plus fake out at 29. At 29%. Evil never dies sequel setup 21%. Found footage and 14%. Hell yeah. Now it says, imagine if we got a jump scare fake out and we suddenly get a jump scare happening at the most unexpected moment. Yeah, I think people expect jump scares now. I agree, Jinxie. Horrors are meant to have a happy ending. Happy endings can happen. Yours is an amazing example of that. True. Oh, it was overused? Yes. Oh, it's all good. Don't worry, Rose. There'll be plenty of polls that come up during the stream. Jump scare when lady gets a super chat? Okay, look. Look, that is true. I may allegedly get a jump scare. Allegedly. There's some really good polls on that though, so I'm really looking forward to that. Okay, so okay, ooh. So here's some more. Let's roll. Let's see. Hang on, I'll put in capital layer. No, wait, no. Hang on. Questioning reality. So what I mean by that one is basically you don't know what's real. So a movie that really messed with your sense of what's real. There's a lot of gaslighting and insanity involved in it. What do you guys think? What do you think of this trope? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Let me know. Let me know. Basically, like, you know, do you like the idea of a protagonist having their sanity doubted? You know, people thinking that the protagonist is nothing but like a crazy weirdo or something. Like, babe, come on, you're crazy. You know you're under a lot of stress right now. Yes, Laura, Lithos is catching on. Nah. A jump scare is lady typing when the keyboard least expects it. True. God darn it. Nat likes it. Hasn't seen much of it, though. Jinxie says, ooh, I like these. Psychological and brain-poking fun. Poke, poke. Lone Wolf says it can be stressful. Wait, why is it stressful, Lone Wolf? Tell us. Tell us. Tell us all the deep secrets of your soul. Laura prefers structured storytelling. I getcha. Lithos says, done well if it's awesome. Devane says, pretty good. Oh, Jinxie, my life. People always questioning me, especially Tormo. That naughty Tormy, that naughty skeletal man. Banshee says, I think it's actually pretty good. Hell yeah. Lithos says, that could tie into the unbeliever trope too. That is true. That is definitely true. It could. Hush, hush, sweet Charlotte. Ooh. It's okay. Sorry, Richard says, it's okay. Not so much used today compared to the early films. And Jimmy says, definitely my favorite trope. Hell yeah. Jack says, it's a good trope. Oh yeah. Rose. Rose says, I like it, but only when the person being doubted gets vindicated and they get to be smug about it. Rose, why do I feel like that's a projection? that when you're right, you'll enjoy being smug about things. I'm onto you. Laura. Dr. Torment does have many bones to pick with everyone. Oh dear. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, see, gaslighting right there. This is good. This is good. Jack says, it creates a seed of doubt that keeps the audience on their toes. I agree. That is a good one. Devay says psychological over supernatural, though. That's fair. Okay, just let me take a sippy sip. Oh. Let's see. Hey! Laura says, how bad off when the stream in your head in the rubber room with rats keeps gaslighting you. Look, guys. Look. You guys, you know, I'm just a figment of your imaginations, okay? Yep. The unreliable narrator. Let's see. Actually, that goes into the next one. So, hang on. I'll change the thing, because it's basically... Oh, can I add a dash? Unreliable narrator. Ah! No, that's not... Come here. No, come here. There we go. Running out of room. Wait. I'll move this. Hang on. Hold that thought, chat. Hold that thought. Here we go. Lots of room. Big brain, many wrinkles. Okay. There we go. That might be better. So basically, with the unreliable narrator, you can't trust a word they say for whatever reason. What do you guys think of this? I like how there's a lot of overlap between the different themes. I think that's cool. Okay, let's see. Oh my god, people... Lady gaslighting isn't a word. Shut up, you. God damn it. Nat says, I personally like scary stories that involve real life history. Interesting. I've listened to a few stories that took place during or after the Chernobyl disaster. True. You stole my lungs, what? So what do you... That's the movies where the narrator is actually the killer? Ooh! Maybe they suffer from memory loss and don't know what they're actually doing. I'm gonna move these up. Right there. Let's see. Laura says, I think it is not done enough, but a little goes a long way. It plays into the fear that your own mind is the real enemy. Richard says, gets overdone in some films. Ooh. Nat says, what about a movie where only the protagonist can hear the narrator and think they're going nuts? Ooh, I like that idea, Nat. That sounds really cool. Jimmy says, the payoff has to be worth it though with the unreliable narrator. With so many stories do this badly with the very little illusion along the way. True. True. Oh, frick! Sorry, I took a bite of my mandarin and it was really juicy and just sprayed me. Ah! Gosh darn it. Sorry. I was trying to take a little discreet midstream snack. I'm so anyway. Banshee says, I feel like Unreliable is really well done in Smile. I believe Smile 2 did it. I haven't seen Smile or Smile 2 yet. Those are on the list. Rosé says, something I want to see is an unreliable narrator who isn't deceitful. They're just really stupid. Nice. Laura says, I think the best unreliable narrator in recent history is Cyberpunk 2077's Johnny Silverhand. Someday I will finish playing that game, I swear. Jack just sprayed me. Ladyspookariayt 2025. God damn it. Jack, you can post that in my Discord server in the quotes section. That says, also time loops. The idea of being stuck in one scares the F out of me. I think we'll get into one of that discussion in a little bit. In a little bit. Jack says, I like my narrators to be snarky and funny. Yes, it's fighting back. Finish it, lady. I'm trying. You know, I'm gonna assert dominance. Hang on. Sorry, I'm just chewing. Okay, there we go. Rosé says, another interesting way to play it is as if the events were filtered through a game of telephone. So the details being told by a narrator may not be what's true, but certain details are fabricated. Very well. That's good. The fact most don't know he's unreliable makes him so good. True. American Psycho is good unreliable narrator example. Yes. Good one. Good one. Jimmy says, American Psycho is an amazing book. I didn't know it was a book as well. Oh yeah, a movie was brilliant as well. Excellent. Okay. Does anyone have any final questions or comments about the questioning reality or an unreliable narrator? Because we could move on to the next topic. Gonna leave that hanging there for just a moment while I discreetly eat another piece of mandarin. Let's see. Hey, Epic, welcome to the stream. No, it didn't spray all over the keyboard. Not this time. Not this time. I learned my lesson. I shoved the whole thing in my mouth. Oh, God. That's what she's... God damn it. Oh, God damn it. Oh, dearie me. Oh, dearie, dearie me. Alright, let's see. Oh, here's another one. Here's another one. Is this you thinking dirty thoughts, lady? And Jinxie, probably. Look, look. Look, it's fine. God damn it, Jack. Jack's in my server just quoting me the whole time. Alright, chat. Alright, I think you naughty people are getting ahead of yourselves, so we're going to move on to the next topic. Gremlins. Absolute gremlins, all of you. You on the train epic? Oh, hell yeah. Heading into uni? Alright, let's go. Where am I? Who am I? No one knows at this point. Alright, ooh. So the concept of nature's revenge. So basically, nature having power over human technology. Or human technology no longer having strength over it. So you can also see this in like supernatural type things with like maybe like a nature spirit or a god of some type. But what do you guys think of this horror trope? And she says, an awesome lady narrator who is funny. Thanks. Oh, I appreciate that. Another fave, excellent. Jack says, Jurassic Park is a good example of this. That's true, it is. It always makes you wonder what people are going to do. Another fave, Day of the Animals. There was a TV show on Netflix a while ago. I can't remember the name of it. But it explored a similar theme of animals getting their revenge on humans. Also, I think you could include Planet of the Apes in this as well. Jack says, Godzilla is a great example of this trope as well. I agree. Lithos says, just about to say there's an elemental vibe to that. True. Is this an Avatar reference? I mean, it could have. I think it's in a lot of different sections. Like, it touches on lots of different genres. Let's see. Laura says, as a pagan, I'm a fan of it. But it mostly plays into the old fears that you are powerless against nature. Or that there is something merely sleeping and forgotten. Read to take your peace and security. Oh, look, more Godzilla fans in the chat. Oh, wee. Rose agrees with this trope. Hell yeah. Jack says Planet of the Apes does work. Excellent. That's true, Lithos. You could extend this to natural disaster movies. Yes, I do, Epic. I still have one. Excellent. Day of the what? The Tiffids? There's lots of lots of Godzilla goodness, I see. Everyone's big excite. Alright. So let's see. So do these eco, I guess, horror stories creep you out? Or what does it make you think? Like, is it a warning about how humans are getting too strong and too powerful on our planet? Like, what do you guys think? That's true, Sharon. King Kong is another one. Good. Hey, Jinxie. I don't know why I started saying the bidget. Interesting. I must delve back into the source material and seek out why. Let's see. Laura says, I think it is a useful reminder. Jack says, nature's revenge is scary and exciting. Lithos adds, yes, it's a morality tale. You could always extend this to the War of the Worlds if you wanted. Ooh, that is another thing. That is another trope that's going to come up later on. Aliens. So we will be covering that as well. Empire of Ants. Ooh. Ooh, I like that one too, Rose. Lesson in humility. Bit of me. Richard says no, because in the end, nature wins anyway. True. Lithos says love it. Excellent. Excellent. Jack adds, nature always gets the last laugh in some way. I agree with that. I agree with that statement. Okay. So you guys ready for another poll? Okay, have a good one, Nat. Hope you feel better soon. Okay, next poll. This is cute. I'm hoping I don't write the wrong thing. Let's see. Start a poll. I think doing a little poll during the middle like helps break them up a little bit and moves things along. Plus, some of the answers, I think they're funny. So, feel free to add in commentary about the polls as well. You know I do love a good poll in this stream. Also, this one's kind of funny. Now, when I say a cat on this, I don't mean cat as in the mod. That's okay, Banshee. Oh, that sounds delicious. Yeah, we'll put this up for a little bit. Cast your votes, chat. That is fair. Laura, you count as both a cat and a weapon. Yes, Banshee, I would love some. But yeah, feel free to cast your votes. And all that good stuff. Cats are weapons and tools. I don't know how to... Yes, you do, Vitiv. Yeah, yes, you do. You absolute chaos gremlin. A cat carrying a gun. Oh my goodness. No spicy, please. No spicy. No spicy. I like spicy in other areas, but not in, you know. It's fine. Everything's fine. Okay. Don't worry about it, Jack. Don't worry about it. Oh. So I've got another one ready and waiting to go. Eyebrows. Eyebrows. Pasta with sausages. Very nice. Very nice. Alright, Vidith, I think you're gonna like the next question. I'm gonna end the poll here. So, what do you guys think about... What do you guys think about body horror? In different things. What have you done? What have I done? So, flashlight is at 30%. So when I did this, I nearly wrote something else instead of flashlight. Anyway, weapon at 30%, phone at 20%, cat at 20%. Honestly, I expected cat to be higher. Did I tell you about me getting poked in the stomach while I was doing... Wait, really? Oh. Oh my. Banshee loves body horror. Excellent. Easy. So what do you guys think about body horror? Do you think it's overdone? Do you like it? Is there any specifics that you enjoy? Let me know, let me know. Jack says, it's a fun trope if done right, like The Thing. Ooh. I'm noticing a lot of love for this. Excellent. I approve. I approve. Jimmy says, I've only recently gotten into body horror. Loving writing short stories about this genre at the moment. Hell yeah, Jimmy. Hell yeah. Laura can't relate to its fear factor? I getcha. In any way, Richard. Karen loves it. Lithos says, does that include spiritual possession? It does, but not... Yes and no. Let's see. Jack says, Godzilla Black Mass has some incredible body horror. It's astounding. Interesting. Let's see. Jimmy says, The Substance was a great example in film. I don't remember Substance. I don't think I've seen it, Jimmy. I should, though. Okay, I made a little note. Okay, so when it comes to body horror, which one is scarier for you? Okay? A slow, steady mutation or a sudden transformation? I guess you could include zombies and everything in this as well. Maybe some different types of vampires. Werewolves as well. Let's see. Jinxie says, as long as it's not sci-fi based. Interesting. David Cohnberg? Oh no, Banshee. Banshee prefers slow? Interesting. Laura says, I wonder if the movie Alien plays into body horror or perhaps zombies. I think they do, Laura. I think any time that, you know, your body is being altered in ways, you know, that you didn't agree to, I think that's body horror. Lithos says, this is the vast majority of creepypastas. I agree. There's something really fun about body horror, though. Like, you know, especially if reading or hearing it makes you want to double check your body to make sure everything is okay. Let's see. Jack says, slow transformations are always creepier and more efficient at scaring. Devane says, slow and steady. Banshee says, slow transformation because you get to see the beauty and creativity that comes with the transformation. Banshee, that sounds kind of creepy when you think about it. It's like, you get to see the beauty and creativity. Oh, that's a good one, Banshee. I approve. Laura finds it hard to relate to. It's okay, Laura. That's okay. Karen likes slow. Very nice. Jinx. Oh god. Jinxie says human centipede. Oh god. Yes. Yes. Human centipede is definitely body horror. Let's see. Laura says, remind me of that body horror bug zombie story. I need to finish for you. Laura, that sounds absolutely horrifying. My body is ready. Let's do it. Parasite trope, says Rose. I just scratched my arm. I like, gosh darn it. Okay, so we've done that. Let's see. I've spread out my notes into different sections, so now I have to like search through it. Okay, so I've said that before. Oh, god damn it. Basically anything where your body changes against your will. So does anyone have any final things that they would like to say about body horror? Do you think it's overdone? Do you think it's underdone? Or do you think there's any way where it can be improved on? I think after The Exorcist, it kind of went dead, apart from the films. Yeah, that's fair. Like The Fly? Yes. Ooh. Body horror is something that makes me go, ugh. Especially when there's like insects or larvae or anything. It's like, it's such an uncomfortable topic. Lithos says, I feel like the person whose body is used against his will is underdone. I agree. Laura says, I believe it is gaining popularity due to specific real-world circumstances. That is a good point. I think whatever's going on in the real world will influence every type of media. So during a global issue... Hang on, I'm going to close my blinds. It's really... Alright, there we go. Sorry, my god. I believe there's going to be more fear-based characters with, like, face coverings. So, like, surgical masks or something now. You don't love me anymore? What do you mean I don't love you anymore, Rooster? What? Did I miss your... Sometimes YouTube will hide certain messages. Let's see. Banshee says, I think more practical effects with some CGI, or at least when the special effects have time to do the process to make it look better. That's true, but there is something really nice about really terrible budget horror movies that are just, it's like, oh, these are garbage, but so good. So good. Alright, gonna take a sippy sip. Oh, I read that, Rooster. Fair, that's fair. Good. Good. Let's see. Surgical mask horror. Do you think I'm pretty? Ooh. Okay, so that's another one. So I think we're ready to move on to the next one. So we'll do that now. Also, are you guys enjoying this sort of stream where we talk about, you know, different, you know, keyboard ASMR? Yes. Are you guys enjoying, like, theme streams like this where we talk about, like, different topics? Because I'm definitely thinking about doing more of these in the future. Absolutely gets the noggin jogging. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right. Themes are good. All right. Yes, I am. Excellent. Excellent. All right. So on to the next topic. Ooh. So this was brought up before. I think this one is kind of relevant given everything that's going on. But what do you think about the fear of technology? Ah! Of technology. Hang on. I need to shrink it and move it over. The fear of technology. So I think this applies with, you know, the rise of AI and all the risks that are coming out about it. So basically it's about machines or AI becoming uncontrollable, sentient, and usually hostile towards humans, their creators. So, examples of this are the Terminator or the movie Megan. Let's see what everyone has to say. Loud and clear. Excellent. It makes the lady do extra homework. It does, actually. So whenever there's a theme stream, I have to do more work before it, which, it's all good. Alright, now let's see what people have to say. Jack says, it's a very real concern. Computers never forget and are always changing to accommodate more information. That's true. The fact that they can learn faster than humans and soon will be able to reproduce much faster as well. That is so scary. Lithos says, makes me think of iRobot. That's another good example. Richard says, overblown to a degree. I get you. I get you. Ooh, good points, Laura. Laura says, the fear of tech is both the fear of the unknown plus a projection of humanity's fear about itself. Well, I mean, whatever AI has learned, it has learned through humans. And all the, I can't remember what it was. I think an AI got to study Reddit and became such a hateful, being. So there's that. And different instances of AI trying to take people down who stand against it as well. So that's scary. Jack says, it's got a real chance of being reality in any regard. Jack says, I'm more scared of I have no mouth and I must scream. There. Banshee says, well, with recent AI, it's a risk that could be coming. I agree with that. There is that threat of AI becoming stronger and getting out of control. Good example is Demon Seed. I'm not sure what you mean, Devane. Jack says, self-fear and destruction is an underrated trope for horror. I agree. Jimmy says, this story was written in 1967 and is one of the bleakest things I have ever read. It's fantastic. I have no mouth and I must scream by Harlan Ellison. Give it a read if you like this genre. You know, some people have made a joke that my keyboard is like is like the character that in I have no mouth and I must scream. So I think I should definitely check it out, Jimmy. It sounds like a really good one. Devane says, a fear of loss of control. That is true. Humans would lose control if they ever did win out. Oh, I get you, Laura. LLMs are not a true AI. It's just really good word prediction algorithms. And it's still fun to think about. Richard says, iRobot is probably the best film in this trope. You know what? I haven't seen iRobot for ages. That's another one we need to watch in the server. Another. Let's see. That Harrison Ford film set in the future? Interesting. Really? There's a movie called, so Devane says, the movie Demon Seed, about a computer that wanted to mate with a woman and make itself as a baby? Oh. There's so many different things that could go weird with that. That, I should see that. Where he's a bounty hunter? Blade Runner. Ooh. I have yet to see Blade Runner, but I hope to in the future. Alright. Gonna double check my other notes. Hang on. Probably should have organized my notes better before the stream. That would have been good, wouldn't it? Do you guys think in stories, like whether it's creepypastas, movies, or books, do you think that AI or the fear of technology trope will become much bigger, especially in more recent years that are upcoming, I should say? Do you guys think it's going to grow and get more popular? See the original? Interesting. Based on the books, do robots sleep of electric sheep? Interesting. And she says, the scariest is what you mentioned is how we can't control it. But humans is another thing we can't control. So it would be worse if AI can be like humans, be unpredictable, and worse like some of the worst people in the world. Well, there's the added factor, Banshee, that AI, like the worst of AI, could learn from all the different horrible people throughout the ages. That is scary. That ability to do that is absolutely terrifying. Laura says, most likely, yes. I agree. Let's see. Okay. Gonna wait a little bit to see if anyone has any further comments about that one. I think there's a bit of a delay. It gives me some time to have a sippy sip. Laura says, most likely yes, and then adds, no. The real fear is that it learns and evolves beyond understanding, and then makes decisions about us like we would of ants. That's terrifying. Plus, also, humans don't give it. Like, there are some people who do care about ants, but their number is so small in comparison to the general population of humans. It would just be like, yeah, should I keep these things that are mild nuisance? Or should I just wipe them out? Let's see. Richard says yes and no. Interesting. I'm gonna wait to see if Richard added a little bit more to that. But yeah. Sippy sip time. Okay, Laura adds yes, but also the ants have no understanding of us, and we have so much power over them. They have no way to learn or relate to us. We may as well be eldritch gods to them. Ooh. That does open up some more ideas about different story points. But I think it is time to move on to a different topic. But I loved all your answers for this. Perhaps a tech fear is a reskin of classic cosmic horror. Ooh, okay, that's a good one. I have noticed that there's so many different, themes in horror that are closely tied into each other. Different tropes. Richard says, yes, in fact, there is a risk, but no in the fact that there will be safeguards. Yeah, but Richard, safeguards are known to fail. So, there's that as well. So, okay guys, I think it is time to move on to the next topic. People have made great points about the fear of technology and the rise of AI, but I'm just going to leave fear of and just put in fear of isolation. So basically, you're alone dealing with whatever, or isolated from the group of people. What do you think about this trope? Do you like the fear of isolation? Do you not like it? Let me know. So for me, I think it depends on how it's done. And also that the characters are different opinion about themselves. If they're already a very independent person, it probably won't impact them as much. But if they're very social, ooh, this would be a nightmare, I think. Lithos says, oh, this is like my worst nightmare. Oh dear. Oh dearie me. Let's see. Devane says, the last person on Earth. I think that would be scary. I wouldn't know what would be worse if you were the last person on Earth. If you know that you're the last person on Earth, or if you don't know, and you're still just out there searching for someone else. Let's see. Laura says, I find the fear of isolation more of a younger generation thing, and I do not get it, nor care for it. But this is a likely estimation of my own abilities. I get you. Let's see. Ash Soul says, the isolation reminds me of reality distortion. Ooh, that's a good one. I like that. I mean, it could also be driven by someone going insane as well. Lithos says, you could also extend this to zombie movies. That is true. So, in zombie movies, usually it's not just the zombies you need to be worried about. It's other people as well. So, while other humans can bring safety, it can also very, very much bring danger. Depends on the person. I get you, Richard. I think it would force the person to adapt to survive. That's true. Jimmy. Jimmy. Isn't isolation a dream? I mean, fair. Fair. I say this as someone who is a bit of a hermit. Let's see. Banshee says, well, I like being alone in the forest, since it's the calmest place to be. But if I'm the last person on Earth, oh boy, what can I even do? When I get sick, who can I go to? When I get injured badly, I would die to my own injuries. What happens when something bad happens and you're stuck in a ditch or a cave and you die slowly? That's true. That's true. There are many benefits to living in a society that you just would not think about. Sorry, wait. That you don't have to think about. Sorry, I worded that wrong. But it's one thing to be alone in a forest, you know, to go out there by yourself and be able to come back home. But imagine being isolated in a forest by yourself, but with no way back out. Says the streamer. I mean, look. Look, I see you calling me out there, Laura. I see you calling me out. Wait, Laura says, a good example of this is the fact younger people tend to find Minecraft in peaceful mode creepy. Ooh. Damn. Richard says, would be great for an introvert. Yeah, but I think with being an introvert, there's a difference between choosing something and something being forced on you. Like, forced isolation versus voice isolation. Jack says, my greatest fear, I need other voices that are not in my head, just who I am. And yet immortality is a curse, indeed. Let's see. Add in some more to it. But I've got a question about this. So, after the global issue, the pandemic, do you think isolation horror hits harder, or do you think some people are more impacted by it now rather than they were in, you know, previous years? Let me know, chat. Let me know. And take a sippy sip. Yeah. Ash Soul says, I forgot where, but someone on the internet said being an immortal sucks because once the planet is gone, you're just floating through space. Oh, that's nightmare fuel. But it would depend though, because if the planet is gone, usually there was something so bad that happened where there's a good chance in that whole process you would die anyway. Lithos says, being alone on another planet like the movie Martian. Ooh. I think being on another planet would be strange. Especially if your resources and your oxygen are slowly running out. And there's no one to help you. Or at least comfort you in your final moments. Jack says, I'm an introvert, but social contact is still needed to be healthy. That is true. Richard says, maybe. And she says, yes, I wanted to mention this when you first asked. Apparently some people during the lockdown say they saw someone leap from their apartments. The people who saw it or were close to it would get hit harder. That's true. There was also, I remember, like, people seeing, like, shadow figures, like, walking up people's apartments during it as well. I think that would have been scary to see. Mind you, like, apartments kind of make me apartments weird me out a little bit. In general. The good question feels more relatable to me. Hell yeah, Lithos. Laura says, depends on the age of the person. Younger people are more used to it, older fear it more. That's fair. Well, society back in my day, people would go outside a hell of a lot more. At least in compared to now. Or in comparison to now. There it is. Let's see. Jimmy says, I think here in Australia... Hey, a fellow Aussie! Hell yeah, Jimmy. Jimmy says, I think here in Australia it showed us how quickly the government can take up... That's a little too political, fam. But I get you. I get what you mean. Yeah, the isolation is, it's quite difficult for a lot of people. You know, it's one thing to be a It's one thing to be, say, to choose to stay home, and it's another thing to be forced to stay home. Ash Soul says, what about simulation horror? That would be my nightmare. That would be, whew. Ah! Okay, my computer's... There we go. Sorry about that. Had to fight with my thing for a bit. Okay, there we go. Simulation horror, I think we'll touch on that later on. But yeah, the idea of being in a simulation is terrifying. Just being, you know, stuck somewhere else. Basically, other people having control over you. I think it goes back to a complete loss of control. Where you just have no ability to control your own fate. Okay, here we go. And she says, nah, for real. Because what's worse, someone stalking homes or apartments. Since an apartment, it's normal to see a lot of people passing by, more often in a small neighborhood. That is true. That is very, very true. So during the pandemic, at zoos, monkeys and things and dolphins were getting sad because they're so used to seeing people every day, and like people would show them things and interact with them, that they were actually starting to get depressed. A little random thought there for you. Ash says, window apartments are for extroverts. Like one dude, he was swinging his lightsaber in the dark at night and waved at the mini crowd who was watching. I think he was recording a video. Oh, that's cute. Devane says, I think being alone before the pandemic was an individualistic fantasy in the vein of zombie apocalypse. Afterwards, more grounded and truly scary. I think that's a good point. A good factor is when things start to take on a more realistic element to them, and that's scary. And when things stop being fantasy and it's like, oh no, yes. That's a long time to be without sunlight, Laura, but I get you. Lithos says, I think my best type of this trope is the lone man on the brave new world type movie. I get you. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Ash Soul says loss of control from multiple personalities disorders. Like some people are conscious when they have a personality change. That's true. That is a little different from what we're going for right now, Ash Souls, but that is a good one though. Okay, so does anyone else have anything else they'd like to add about the fear of isolation? You guys are being absolute chads. I've got to stop saying that. So I do have a possible poll choice that's kind of gonna come up. See, well. Gonna wait to see if there's any more responses, but I think it's gonna be time to move on to the next one. I'm really enjoying this, guys. This is different from what we usually do. Okay, let's have a look-see. What about this? Touches into isolation a bit, but it's more of a location. So what about isolated cabins and endless woods? Okay, what do you guys think this fear is based on? I'm gonna... There we go. So, basically, an example of this would be you go camping sometime. Or you're in a cabin in the woods somewhere. You're stuck out there, I guess. Do you like this kind of trope? Do you hate this kind of trope? Is this one you want to see more of or less of? Let me know. Because I think... Yeah, it does touch in the fear of the unknown, doesn't it, Laura? It's... Out there, you lose the safety that you have when it comes to having a community around you. So, like, say if you scream, there's a good chance your neighbors would hear you. And then they'd be able to either come, you know, help you out, or they could call the police to help you. Let's see. That's okay, Jack. Lurking and lurkers are more than welcome. Let's see. Fear of isolation? It definitely does tap into that. Like, there's going to be a lot of overlapping themes with this stream. Just the nature of the genre. But, yeah. Lithos is into spooky woods. Excellent. Banshee says, I feel it's split. We get those movies, and also where we don't see them a lot. That's true. Usually I've found that when there's an isolated cabin or endless woods, there's usually something else that goes along with them. Whether it's some type of, like, ritualistic cult or, you know, some supernatural entity hunting people down. That sort of thing. Let's see. Oh, good point, Ash Souls. Ash says, I think a lot of them are either stories with Wendigos, skinwalkers, and other entities that wouldn't necessarily harm you unless it knows you know it's there, or if you open the door for them. That's a good point. I think there's another factor is if you are in a cabin in the middle of the woods and someone knocks on the door, but yeah, it's a bit scary, the thought of, you know, Someone just randomly being at your door when you're out in the middle of nowhere. Because it's either a person wanting help or someone you're going to need help from, probably. Jack says, Spooky Woods is a good one. I can't name a bad spooky movie that I've watched. True, Jack, true. Laura says, it's fine. Just answer your dead mother's voice to come join her in the woods. She has made tea and sandwiches. Oh no. Laura, that was quite the chaos gremlin answer. That's true, Banshee. Banshee says, yeah. Or in Blair Witch Project, people purposely walking in a circle or avoiding the way out. That is another good one. Let's see. Jack says, it's a great way for suspension to build. Excellent. And then cabins are fun, especially if it's by a water source. Wait, why a water source specifically, Jack? Do you mean like a lake or a river or something? Hopeful says, honestly, a cabin in the middle of the woods sounds like paradise to me. That said, I'm bringing my pew-pews with me. I get you, Hopeful. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Oh, we got some cryptid story fans in here. Hell yeah. Laura and Jack. Very nice, very nice. There's nothing like a good cryptid story. Like a water source for fishing and swimming, lakes or the ocean. Oh, okay, I get you. So now here's the question. If you were in a horror movie, would you go camping? Mind you, to be fair, you probably wouldn't even know you're in a horror movie until it happens, but still, would you go camping? Let's see. Hopeful says, give me Wi-Fi, my games, a drone to deliver me food and beer. I am set. That is true. Wait a minute. Oh, wait, you said food. I was expecting you to say Takis in that one, Hopeful. But yeah, that sounds about right for me too. You know, nothing like an isolated cabin. Hell, I don't know. Hang on. Hello, Stay. Welcome to the stream. Let's see. Jack says, I don't know. If I don't know I'm in a horror movie, I'd probably skip. Just because I do the research to see if the land is cursed or not. Ah, I see. So in the tropes, Jack, it would appear you are the researcher. Interesting. Laura says, I'm a camping fan. But I build my camps different than most. Can you please say my name? This sounds like you're going to use me saying this for another purpose, bro. And I think you need to have a nice, full, refreshing glass of water to ease your thirst. Hopeful says, if it's in Native American woods, that's associated with skinwalker tales. Hell no, I'm not camping. Even with my pew-pews. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Jack would be the comedic genius, being funny and smart is me. Big brain, many wrinkle. Please just say once and I won't ask again. Alright. You ready? Are you ready for it? Alright. Ah! I knew that was gonna happen. Anyway. Devane says, it's not the woods itself, it's what's in the woods. That is true, Devane. That is true. I always try to go by the thing of whatever is in the room with me, I'm not stuck in the room with it. It is stuck in the room with me. Alright, sippy sip time. Alright. Does anyone have any final questions or comments about the Ice Age cabins and endless woods topic? Because we're going to mosey on down to the next one. If y'all are ready. Hopeful says, the woods is like my boring town. It's pretty lively and harmless during the day. At night, creepy as hell. Interesting, Hopeful. Interesting. It's because I'm lurking outside, Hopeful, lurking outside your house, grumbling about how you made me play Lost in Vivo. I have not forgotten. I have not forgotten. Sippy sip. Alright, let's see. Alright, I think we're on to the next one. So, let's see. Some typing ASMR. Okay. The cursed object. Now, this can be any type of an object. Move it. Make it bigger. Size matters. Okay, there we go. So a cursed object includes a lot of different things. So a cursed object can be like a haunted doll. I told you guys a haunted doll was going to come up. Haunted dolls, mirrors, tapes, VHS, like different relics or things, pieces of furniture. What do you guys think about this trope? Let's see. Also, there's some last ones about Banshee's happy about his noodles. Hell yeah. Laura, the woods are fine. That's where all my walking deer friends live. Hopeful says, you know, I'm just saying I would not be afraid if I stumbled across you in the forest, lady. I feel like you're challenging me right now, Hopeful, and that's not going to end well for you. No, I'm kidding. Jack hears screams from his forest, maybe Sasquatches. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we're on to the cursed objects. Okay. Ooh, this one I've noticed is the first one that's had a lot of negative answers. Alright, let's see. Let's have a look-see. Laura says they're way overblown. Jack says curse objects are overdone for me. I like them. But if you see a few novices with a cursed object, you've practically seen them all. That's fair. That's fair. Oh, sorry, a few movies. Let's see. Banshee says, it honestly depends on some movies make the cursed object so obvious. And then some movies make it seem very less obvious. It's okay, Jack. Look, it's all good. It's all good, dude. Lithos says, definitely overblown. That's fair. Typos, look, it's okay, Jack. Typos happen. They happen to the best of us. Devane says, it depends on the execution. You could have Hellraiser, or you could have Wish Upon. True, that is very true. Let's see. So if you found, I do have a question for the chat. I'm gonna wait for a few more answers to come in before I before I add this. Ooh, Lithos, true. This trope can also extend to religious artifacts like the Dybbuk box. That is fair. That is fair. And yes, I've noticed, and also with the Annabelle doll too. Let's see. Laura says, besides the Hope Diamond, the Pharaoh's Curse, there have not been many really good curses, and the Pharaoh's Curse mostly just happenstance, it seems like. Or Haunted Bong. God damn it, Banshee. Let's see. Hopeful says, in Hawaii, there's this ancient sacrificial temple that doesn't exist anymore. But its foundation is there, made of mossy lava rock. It is said that if you take a rock, you anger the spirits, and they'll haunt your ass until you put the rock back exactly where you found it. Oh well. And then Laura adds, you are to not take any rocks from Hawaii or Pele will curse you in general, not just that place. That should be another stream, like local superstitions and things. I think that would be a lot of fun for us all to do. But yeah, so I think everyone's answer is pretty standard. It's overdone, but I was curious about the haunted object. But I do have a question. Okay, if you guys found an old VHS tape that was called Watch Me, would you watch that video? To be fair, I don't think a lot of people have VHS players anymore. But if you could watch it, I should say, would you? Let's see. Rose says, Dad, this haunted doll is haunted. Pfft, no, it isn't. Yes, it is, doll. No, I'm not. See, Timmy? But no, upstairs. Rose, you pretty much summarized so many movies with that one comment. Lithos says, the haunted bong is South Central. God damn it. Let's see. Hopeful kept that mentality when him and his family went to Hawaii. Good, good. Oh my god. Lithos would watch the Watch Me movie. Banshee, if I'm dying of an uncurable disease, then yes. God damn it. Jack says, I don't have a VHS tape player. Sorry. I don't have a VHS player, so I wouldn't watch it. Jack says, probably not. Banshee says, also, I would own one still. You can still find them. They're not as common as they used to be, but you can still find VHS players. Laura says, nope, I don't take stupid chances because taking care of a spirit is more trouble than a video is likely worth. There. Jack says, yes, but only in a holy environment and with friends. I'm just too curious for my own good. Sharon says yes. Hopeful says, why not invite Samara from the ring? Make my life more interesting. I mean, look, that is fair. That is fair. You guys have been coming up with such good answers. I am blessed. I am so blessed. Okay, let's see. Alright, on to the next topic. Ooh. I'm just trying to find a good one. That's a little bit different. Oh, what about... It was all a dream? Or was it? Ooh. Now, do you guys like this type of a trope? What do you think about things that were allegedly a dream? Hang on, I have to resize it. One moment. Sorry, chat. There we go. If I knew it was cursed, I might throw a video premiere party for a few people, though. Ooh. Lithos, does Lord of the Rings count as a cursed object movie? I mean, you know what? That is a good point. That is a really good point. Hopeful analog horror taught me not to watch weird and creepy VHS tapes. Why not? It'll be fine. What could possibly go wrong? It's an alright trope, says Jack. Laura says, hate those. It cheapens everything and feels like a waste of my time. I get you. I feel that as well. Let's see. It's Hopeful's least favorite trope, mostly. Damn, brutal. Let's see. Lithos says, nah, because it often leaves filled holes in plot lines. Rose, petition to rename this the dun 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 trope. Jane says, maybe a bit overblown at least. Yeah, I'm not really a fan. It's just like, you just watch and you're like, oh. Okay. It just feels... I don't know, you just feel cheated at the end of it when it's just a dream. Yeah, what could possibly go wrong? That's definitely another trope. Yes, exactly hopeful. Like, it's this massive build up for it to be something big and important, and it just goes bleh. And it's like, oh. Okay. Okay. Alright, let's see. Okay, does anyone have any final questions about it was all a dream trope? I think that has been the first one that most people have not liked. Wait, what was this? What was the fan theory, Banshee? It's okay, Banshee. I will find it in my heart to forgive you. No, it's all good. Let's have a look-see. Oh, here's another one. I'm guessing all of you would know all about the first part of this one because you're all naughty. So basically, Five Nights at Freddy's was the kid was in the fourth game was in a coma and misunderstood everything, and all the games were dreams. Interesting. Here goes. What about... Now, this one touches into other themes as well, like the earlier ones we discussed, but what about sin and punishment? So, do you guys like this trope in horror movies? So, an example of this would be, say, Hellraiser. But also in, you know, The Final Girl, her survival is based on her not committing a sin. The you know, the frisky couple who get killed because they're having sexy times. Let me know, let me know. Hellraiser. Don't know, Banshee? That's okay. There's gonna be some that you know you don't know much about or you don't really have an opinion on. That's okay. Laura says, yes, but I like it when the sins are more abstract than classical Western morality sins. Ooh, okay, that's a good one. I think maybe like say, because morality has always changed throughout the ages. So I think it'll be interesting to be judged and like accused of sinning and then punished for something you didn't even know you were doing wrong. I think that could make it a really interesting angle. Let's see. Hopeful says, Dante's Inferno did this trope masterfully, in my opinion. Mythos says, I'm trying to think of a movie. It reflects mythology a lot. I wonder which one you mean. The game, I mean? Oh, I getcha. I getcha. Interesting. Haven't read the book yet. Hopeful that is your next assignment. I expect a book report on my desk. Just show me that you've read the book. Devane says, like 1972 Tales of the Crypt. Ooh. Ash Soul says, like Saw, are we talking about Terrifier 2? Saw would definitely work because, what's his name? Jigsaw basically, you know, punishes people for their sins. But he also gives them one chance of redemption. You know, through their sin, if they're able to conquer it, they're able to be free and be, you know, get to live. Not quite what this is. It is a bit, but as I said before, there is a lot of different things. Hopeful, I'm seeing a lot of excuses. Shame, Kona Shame. John Kramer, that's it. That's the name. I'm terrible with names, unfortunately. It happens. Jumanji is a good example of this. Laura, I have seen Jumanji, but it has been such a long time, but also I just had never attributed that to Jumanji. I'm gonna have to look at it again, but Lithos says, this could be Dickens' A Christmas Carol. Oh, it could be. He was given a chance of redemption, or he would not have a good time. And he would definitely get punished. Because he's naughty. Let's see. Sorry, I had to check something real quick. Oh, Fleshwood got my more art. So if you know what, I will try it. I'll show it. It looks amazing. Hang on, I'm sorry. Let's see. Jumanji the Nostalgia. Alright, good night, Richard. Thank you for coming to the stream. Have a good one. Let's see. Have an early night. That's all good. Have a good rest, and I'll see you in the server in the next stream. Laura says, well, the kids are punished for sins observed in a different culture and judged by its rules and only earn redemption by chance by finishing the game and thus learning their moral lessons. Oh, okay. You're right. Thinking outside the box, Laura. Hell yeah. Rose. She's a witch burner. Actually, sir, I think those are card tricks. Not really magic, more sleight of hand. He's a witch, burn him. Oh dear. Oh dearie, dearie me. Let's see. So I'm gonna let people have a little bit of final thought about that. I think everyone's given their opinion. Good. Some of these ideas are a bit too dark. I don't know if I actually want to read these out. Because, like, it didn't sound so bad when I was writing it, but now looking at my, probably not stream material. Oh, here's one. Alright, let's see. Oh, you have to weigh her. If she weighs as much as a duck, oh my goodness. Okay, guys, we're moving on to the next one. You chaos gremlins. Alright. How'd I word this? The false safe haven. Okay, so basically the false safe haven is where the survivors get to wherever they are. They finally feel that they can breathe. They're in a safe place. And then all of a sudden, danger is back yet again. What do you guys think of this trope? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Let me know. Keyboard. My keyboard's fine, Rooster. My keyboard is fine. Let's see. Laura says, not a fan. As a gamer, it seems like a way to pad the story pretty much. I think so too. This was an issue I noticed a lot in The Walking Dead, where they would always end up finding a safe place to be, and then all of a sudden zombies would show up, or another group of humans who want to wipe them out. It got to a point where it's just like, I'm just tired, dude. This has happened too many times for me to care about. See. Lithos says, this is also applied to Safe Haven, where people have always lived in, but it's a cover-up for something. That's true, Lithos. That was another trope I was going to bring up as well. Okay. Banshee says, I haven't seen this in kid shows, to be honest. It explores outside of just horror movies and can be used in scary Halloween episodes or just normal episodes of cartoon. That's true. I think it goes with, you know, making the scary element more exciting by having a moment of temporary calm and reprieve from whatever suffering they're going through, and then all of a sudden, boom, right in their face. So yeet. I think Elm Street does this a lot. Yes, exactly, Banshee. That's what it's like. We're safe. Zombie. Surprise, bitch. That is exactly how it goes. I think near enough every movie genre does this. Like, there's always the villain or the antagonist who will show up to stir the pot, you know? Ash Soul says, I immediately thought of Avatar: The Last Airbender. You know that scene where the pregnant woman is going to Basinga, and they got there, but then the Fire Nation broke through and took over. I think the baby's name is Hope. I haven't seen all of Avatar, but I get the trope you mean. Right, pardon me, I need a sippy sip. Steve. Laura said, I thought of Jason popping out of the lake in the original movie personally. Interesting. Yeah, that's a really good one. I think that one was most surprising. Most horror movies, like this ties into, I think, the you know, the evil coming back to life for the double tap shot, you know. The killer isn't really dead at the end, you know. And she says this one is always being used no matter what. So even if overused, it will still be used as suspense. That's true. Suspense is a big factor in movies and in books. Like if things are too quick or too easy, it really does lose its appeal. Laura says it could be done by simply not showing the monster or villain a lot. That's true. I think sometimes not seeing them creates a sense of mystery and a lack of understanding, and that is really scary. Okay, let's see. Hansel and Gretel? Ooh, Hansel and Gretel are good ones. That fairy tale? True. The Village, that's a good one, Lithos. That's true. Hey chat, I'm gonna take a quick stretchy stretch. But I'll be back in just a moment. I will leave you to Laura's jokes. Alright, be right back. Okay, I'm back. Thank you for your patience, everyone. I'm sorry, I really just had to have a quick stretching moment. But we are back. Let's see. Ooh, fairy tale horror. That one is definitely on the cards, Ash. Thank you, thank you. It's okay. It's okay, Laura. I appreciate you holding the fort while I was gone. Big stretch? That's big stretch. It was, actually. My back cracked when I got up. I was like, oh. Oh no. Oh no. But it's fine. Everything is fine. Alright, let's see. Alright. Is everyone ready to move on to the next one? I think we've covered the safe, the false safe haven. Laura. Damn, Laura calling me out. Laura says, and that is why action heroes are in their 20s. Because it's not cool to crack your back when you hop a fence. I mean, true. Also, I did get some more art by Fleshwad, so I'm gonna be shameless and post it on the screen. Because we all know how much I love art. Oh, wrong thing. Go move that. I'll be back in just a moment. Well, I'm still here, but I'm just like fighting with my layers. Move your... Excellent. Alright. So here is my latest piece of art by Fleshwad. I love her art so much. She is so good at it. I love her art. I love it. Yes, Laura, you are definitely an enabler when it comes to art. But here it is. It is on the screen now. Isn't it cute? It is so cute. Told ya. As I said, she does such amazing work. I love it so much. I'm gonna get prepped for the next one. So we'll have a little bit of a break while we all admire the amazing art. So I'm not sure if she's still running this commission on sale, but she might be. Let's move. We're not all over carry the carrot. Okay, there we go. Better positioning. On to the next one. Ooh, this one's a good one. Survival at any cost. So, I've written some stories with this trope in it. Do you like the idea of survival at any cost? Seeing the character, say, who is normally quite virtuous and has a lot of good traits, slowly morphed into becoming, you know, a terrible person in order to survive. Do you like these? Let me know. Because I think it's scary in the way that you wonder what you would do if you were pushed to it. Or what elements would happen that would push you towards it. Hey, left-hand puppetry! Welcome to the stream, how are you? I really like this trope. I've used this quite a lot. So basically, how far would you go to live? What would you do to survive? Let's see, Jack says, this trope is an interesting one. A good character who becomes more animalistic to survive is a good reflection of what happens when we are pushed to our limits. Exactly. Exactly. Laura said, it's okay. I find people tend to think the corruption route sets them apart when it is most often the same writing-wise. That's fair. Let's see. Devane says, it's like body horror in a way. The degradation of oneself and the self-awareness of it. I think that's true. I think one play on that could be where someone does things and has been doing things. Oh, pardon me, sorry. They've been doing things for a long time and then suddenly realize that, you know, they get that shock where they realize that they've been doing things. I think that's the scary part. Lithos says, like post-apocalyptic. I think it could be in any type of genre. Although I have seen it in post-apocalyptic quite frequently. But it could definitely be in any sort of setting where the person has to survive somehow. Usually by sacrificing other people for their own ends. The scary thought. It's like, ooh. Ooh. Jack says, slasher movies with this trope are often hit or miss. I getcha. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies are a fine example of this. That's true. It's been a while since I've seen the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, but you know, and also you see it also in like alien movies where like you have to choose who gets to survive and who doesn't. Essentially, you get to play God with people's lives. So, who do you choose? The game BioShock is a great example of this one. I have yet to play BioShock, Laura. Add that one to the list. The list is quite long. Quite long indeed. The Road is a good example. That is. I love The Road. It messed me up more than once. The Final Destination is a good example of this as well. It's been a long time since I've seen Final Destination. Oh god. Sorry about the sneeze. I'm sorry. Oh dear. Thank you. Thank you. I swear I have to sneeze every single stream. That was the cutest sneeze I've ever heard. Oh god. I'm a big scary demon with a scary sneeze. It's scary. It's not cute. It's big scary. No, it wasn't cute. No. God damn it. Ah! Oh dearie me. Oh dearie me. Okay. Ah! Rose says, what about a calculated survivalist? Someone who knows they could be in something dire. So they make sure they're not among the kindling to the fire. That's like a prepper in any survival movie. You know, the one who has all the stuff ready to go? That's them. Sippy sip time. Ooh. Oh, that's pretty much what cults do. Cults are scary. I love cult stuff. Demon lady scary sneeze. Indeed. Big scary. Big scary. Dark Souls is another good example. I have a feeling, Laura, this is just your way of trying to get me to play Dark Souls. I am on to you. I am on to you and your wicked ways. Okay. Does anyone have any further comments about survival at any cost? Because we can move on to the next one. A happy coincidence? Okay, let's have a look. Just waiting a little bit. Okay, looks like we don't have any. Whenever I say it looks like we don't have any, I imagine someone like frantically typing me like, wait, lady, wait. Okay, but we'll move on to the next one. We still have quite a few left to go. Oh, actually, this one ties into this one. So it should be easy enough. The price of survival. So basically, a hero survives. The main character has survived all their trials and tribulations. They have come out on top. They've defeated whatever enemy that it is that they were dealing with. But the price they had to pay was terrible and devastating. What are your thoughts on this kind of trope? Do you like it? Do you think it's overdone? Do you think it can be just a bit cheesy? Let me know, chat. Let me know. Because I think it's a mixed bag. I think if say maybe the hero loses their family members, but it could also be themselves. They lose who they thought of themselves being. I think that goes back to making people wonder what they would do personally in a survival situation. Let's see. Jack says, it's a tragic one. The Mist is the best example. If you haven't seen it, go watch it, because it breaks you. Ah, I see. Jack is trying to make us all suffer. But I will check it out, Jack. That sounds like a good one. The Mad Max trilogy is a good example. And ever since Saw, it kind of tired. What? It seems tired a little bit. I'm not sure what you meant by the last part with that, Laura, but Mad Max is a good one. He slowly loses himself. Lithos says, could this also be the tragic hero who sacrifices something to survive? Yes. I would go with that one. Yeah. Look, we'll include it as well. You know, why not? We're running wild. Rooster says, have you played anything good lately? Well, Rooster, I have been streaming Fallout 3 on the gaming channel. If you haven't seen that yet, I do stream during my night times, so it's definitely a lot of fun. Why not mosey on down? The streams are quite chaotic. I just warn you in advance. Oh, thank you for posting the linky loo, Laura. Laura says, because Saw, that is almost all it is. Do you want to live? Do the thing, and it was worth it. That's fair. That's fair. Good, Rooster. Good. Go forth. But yeah, that one really does tie in heavily with... Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I was trying to discreetly take a sippy sip, and my throat is just there gurgling. I'm like, oh god, oh no. Those, like, these last two have tied in pretty heavily with each other. Let's see. Now, this one could be where the protagonist is a dum-dum. So, there's this one. So the don't go there trope. So basically, the protagonist and sometimes other people will go into obvious certain danger despite the fact they know it's going to be dangerous and it's going to be challenging. What do you think of this trope? Do you think it's good, bad, overdone? Let me know, let me. The most overused, in my opinion. It's so predictable. I mean, that's fair, Jack. It is a pretty damn predictable one to have. But it's fine. Everything's fine. Let me... Laura says, I hate that. It breaks immersion. More so since at a certain point, everyone, including the protagonist, should have seen the horror and thus know the trope too. That's fair. You also see it in Lord of the Rings, where they're like, yeah, don't go to Mordor. Mordor is terrible. They're like, you know what? This is fine. Everything's fine. Devane says, it's predictable mostly, but it's fun. I think so. I think it depends on what it is. I think it works better when it is something like a fantasy or something, rather than a horror. Lithos says, it can be fun if it's a quest. I agree with that, Lithos. I agree. Hey, Jinxie's back! Welcome back, Jinxie! Welcome back, welcome back. We have covered quite a few different ones. It has been a lot of fun. Hey, Madam Blackrose, welcome back. How have you been? Welcome to the stream. So we have been discussing different horror tropes, and people have been able to discuss and give their opinions, and it has been an awesome time. Ooh, Jinxie was listening in. Ooh, hell yeah. I do appreciate lurkers, and lurkers are always more than welcome to listen in. Been okay, kind of busy. How are you? I'm doing good, Madam Blackrose. It's the spooky season, so as always, there's a lot of work. A lot of work, but that is okay. That's just part of it. Left hand says, more excusable in Lord of the Rings since it's motivated by plot. Hard to watch in slasher horror where there's no good reason. That's fair. That is fair. There's a ton of pumpkins to carve. You know what, chat? I have never carved a pumpkin before. It's just been something I've never done. So yeah, I've never carved a pumpkin. Someday I will carve a pumpkin. Madam says, I've been doing my own thing, but October is still my busiest time of year. That's understandable, yeah. And take a sippy sip of water. Do it, madam. Carve your pumpkin. Okay, chat. I think we're ready to move on to the next topic. Let's see. Let's have a look-see. Let's see. So sometimes these are going to be character types because we've covered a few, but this one's always interesting in my opinion. The sacrificial lamb. So basically, this is the character that dies first to set the tone. So, what do you think? What is a good way for the first character to go in horror? Does it have to be something small or something seemingly innocent that you prefer? Or maybe something big and catastrophic to, you know, set the tone for everything? Or do you prefer a slow build-up as more deaths occur? Sorry, I'm hiccuping. Oh my goodness. What's wrong, left hand? I'm sorry, I haven't carved my own pumpkin. Jack's busiest in October, November, and December. That makes sense. Go to a spirit Halloween. I've seen them, madam, and I really, really, really want to go. Little says, click, click, click. Look, my typing is nothing but a gentle lover's caress, okay? Ooh, nice, Jack, nice. Jack says, I like the lamb to be sacrificial. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Ooh, nice. I like that. I like that one a lot. Madam says, I prefer it when it's something that seems small at first, but is a much bigger thing later. Ooh, that's a good one too. I feel that can build up really well in terms of storytelling. The Lithos wants it to be shocking and quick. Interesting. Interesting. Laura doesn't have any thoughts. That's okay, Laura. You're not gonna feel too much about every single one. So, question. What kind of character do you prefer the sacrificial lamb to be? You want it to be someone sort of not really known very well? Because it's usually like a friend of a friend. They're not super close, but they're just kind of... They're known to the protagonist, but not a lot, usually. I hope I'm making sense with this. I'm just rambling into the void. Like a crazy lady. So there's a sacrificial lamb. There's a lot of, as I said, a lot of these can double up as well. We all go a little crazy sometime. Nice, Jack, nice. Madam says, I like it when there's a bit of mystery. They haunt the narrative, but we never get to see them. I like mystery as well. Mystery adds... you know, the fear of the unknown element to things. I like that. Banshee says, I honestly thought this would be like whenever situation gets bad, it's the person that gets shoved to the killer or gets left behind to die. It's always sad when you watch someone get left behind to die, the slow runner. And I just sit there going, that would be me. That would be me. Ash says, the first to go is the killer, but the plot there just isn't just one but two. It's a bit cringe, but I like it. Hey, there's nothing wrong with liking a bit of cringe. We got that one done. So this one has come up before, but hell, why not? Why not bring it back again? It is a classic. So cosmic horror. So this is all your, you know, your Lovecraft, you know, the Cthulhu mythos, eldritch beings. What do you guys think of cosmic horror? Basically, humans are insignificant. We're not important, we're, you know, basically, as I said, insignificant, and we're up against beings that we have no comprehension of their level of power and influence, and they can basically do anything they want to us, and there is nothing we can do. That is scary. Let's see. Jack says, love cosmic horror. It reminds us how small we are. That is true. It is a most humbling experience when you read cosmic horror. Or you write cosmic horror, I should say. Laura says, I'm kind of a fan. I find the mystery more interesting than the horror of it all. That's fair. That's fair. Jack says, like how we treat ants. That is true. That is true. Madam says, I like Madam says, I like cosmic horror if done right, but at the same time, it always feels like some type of creature. That's fair. So would you prefer maybe aliens or maybe some type of, you know, almost godlike, some deity-like creature? One of Rosé's specialities? Hell yeah. Very nice, Rosé. Ash says, imagine if we were just microbes of a cell and the universes are atoms of a larger entity. I mean, it's always possible, Ash. It's always possible. Dun dun dun. Jack says, I've got cosmic horror stories brewing in my brain. So Jack, if you ever decide to write them, you know, always, you know, narrate them. I'm sorry, that was shameless. But if anyone ever does want to submit a story to me, you can link it to me through my Discord. Let's see, what else? You can email it to me, or you can post it on my subreddit page. So yeah. Sorry, it's shameless. There was some shameless plugging there, don't mind me. Let's see. Left Hand says, very effective because it's closest to reality. I agree with that. Lithos likes godlike creatures. Aliens are overdone. I mean, that's fair. Ooh, Devane's asking Jack about cosmic. Excellent. Ooh, Madam says, perhaps a destroyer of worlds. Something like that. Nice. 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 Let's see. Rosé says, how should I explain this? Imagine your brain is like a computer. Normally, if data is too large for a drive, it will refuse it and show an error message. Now imagine your PC couldn't do that. Oh god. That sounds scary, Rose. I imagine it would just switch off. It just wouldn't be able to handle all the extra load. Jack says, I'll send my stories to you. Excellent. Sometimes plug my stuff as well. Well, so long as it doesn't go against the no self-promo rule too much, should be okay. That is... Oh. Reading that out of context, Devane. We're all good. But reading that out of context, Devane, the universe doesn't care about you. Oh dear. But yeah, that's true. The universe doesn't. We're just a random species that just happen to evolve. Mostly out of chance and things beyond our control. Pretty scary. I just caught that. Chat got meta. Dun dun dun. Alright, nice seeing you, madam. Have a good one. Feel free to drop into my DMs whenever. It was nice seeing you as always. Rose said, I do think there's a fair chance eldritch beings do exist. Also, I see pure nothingness as the closest thing to a real-life eldritch the closest thing to a real-life eldritch horror we can find. Well, maybe that the pure nothingness that we see is the inside of a certain orifice. I'm sorry, I am being immature. I am a gremlin. Demonetized. Yep. Oh dear. Let's see. Black holes are eldritch in a sense. True. The ocean does feel endless at times. That's also true. So let me have a look-see. Oh, guys, we are past the 3-hour mark. So. Let's see. This is a family stream. I'm sorry. Look, I just said orifice. You are all the naughty ones for thinking naughty things, okay? I am just innocently doing my thing, okay? You guys just don't understand. Doesn't feel like 3 hours? I mean, that's fair. It feels like it's much, much shorter. So, I guess time flies when you're having fun. We can't help if you're quotable. Yep, you're all naughty. Nope, all of you naughty, unlike me. Hang on. So I take it you would all like more themed streams like this where we have discussion on different topics? Because I really enjoyed this, guys. I really, really enjoyed it. I think cosmic horror is a good point to not end off on, but yeah, 3 hours. This was fun. Excellent. I think I'll definitely do more, not like on this exact topic, but I will do, you know, more like another one like this. I I definitely think it's possible. Next week I will be having 2 guests on. I believe you all know them. I'll be having As the Raven Dreams and Miss Creepy Tales on. So it should be a lot of fun. Chaotic, but a lot of fun, I hope. Gonna take a sippy sip. Insert random chimp sounds. Agree, great stream topic. Excellent. I think I might narrow it down next time when I'm, you know, gathering my notes and everything, because my notes were all over the place. So I apologize if the structure was a little bit messy. Meow, meow, meow. I like how that's become our thing, Jinxie. The random meows. Yeah, so if anyone would ever like to add in, you know, ideas for different topics, I do have my social medias. I have... my brain just died. I might put up a poll on my community tab at some point to work out what to add. It's okay, the first time's always awkward. Well, you know, like sometimes you just you gotta get used to like the first time. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop before I get myself in trouble. Lithos says, I imagine you have an anchor woman's desk full of notes. That is pretty accurate, because I wasn't sure what direction I was going to go in or where the chat wanted to go either. So I wanted to make sure I had a lot of different areas covered, because look, we all like to chat. We're all little chaos gremlins. But yeah, it's all good. I'm going to take this off. There we go. Let's see. We could do another one. Nah, actually, I'll leave it for the next stream. I think I'll work on making things a bit more structured. So, hang on, let me see. So, not next week's stream, but the week after, we might have another themed stream, because I do love hangout streams. They are a lot of fun. But at the same time, you do run out of things to talk about. Unless we're reviewing something or talking about something specific, it does get a bit hard sometimes. Let's see. So if you haven't yet, consider joining the Discord server. So hang on. I'm gonna... grab the invite. So no pressure to join. It's always fun to be in. Excellent, Jack. So yeah, sometimes we're hoping to start doing movie nights and different things, so yeah, all that good stuff. Yeah. Let's see, what else should we... Oh yes, come to the dark side. That is definitely... I think I might make a little area in the thing. So I'll change the stream chat to stream ideas. Here we go. Stream ideas. Post stream ideas for lady here. Okay, there we go. Excellent. Movie night. Yes. Oh, movie night's popular. Hell yeah. Okay, let's see. Alright, guys. I think it's going to be time for us to wrap up soon. Does anyone have any final questions or comments that they would like to ask me? Because, you know, it's time for me to have a little rest. Was there a favorite? Ooh. Oh my god, my computer. There we go. Was there a favorite trope you liked to talk about? I like the survival type of horror. I think you can see it a lot when I'm writing about different you know, oh my god, I've lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry. I like survival type stuff. I like pushing humans to their breaking point in stories and for them to see what they're capable of, whether it's good or bad. I think that's really interesting to play on. Because, like, you always hear people say, well, I would never do this. And it's like, really? Would you? Have you been tested? Have you? I think that's always a lot of fun. I would say that is definitely my favorite. It's a good pick. Hell yeah. So just... Okay. Again, chat, you guys have been an amazing audience as always. I'm blessed to have each and every one of you here. If you haven't yet, please take the time to like the stream. And yeah. So, I think it's time for me to get back to work. But, alright. Stay safe, my little spooklings. And remember, I'll be watching you.